announcing a Flat Earth Society only as a means for profiling people who not to talk with, Gabe Araujo!
Hey, let's keep it up for JC, guys. And everyone else around. So, I don't really care what people identify themselves as. As long as you're that flat earth theory people, then you're on your own. A man in Canada spent 63 years raising a family of 7. Today, he identifies as his own 6-year-old granddaughter. Imagine breaking down that family tree to his new big sister. Come here, honey. This year's Isabella. Yeah, I know. She smells a little bit like pee, a little bit like whiskey, a little bit like Icy Hot. But she wanted bunk beds. Why are you so upset? Always thought you wanted a little sister. Just be glad she chose the bottom bunk. In related news, I recently read about a 9-year-old little girl who identified as the UFC lightweight title contender. Yeah, that was a tragic story. But she lived out her dreams, which is great, for about 27 seconds. Lucky for me, though, at the end of all that, I identify as someone who knows how to place a bet. Love watching fights. Watched the McGregor fiasco this weekend. Yeah. Watched a lot of fights with my daughter, which doesn't make me a bad dad. It just means we operate under a don't repeat this in public agreement. Or so I thought, but kids are narcs. The other day, I went to pick up my daughter from school. You know, just go get my little princess from school. I'm greeted at the door with an incident report. Those of you who have kids in daycare, you know incident reports are not that cool. Someone else's little bundle of joy decided to just clock my kid in the face over a toy. Not really an expert here, guys, but I'd say that little boy probably identifies as Floyd Mayweather. Just trying it out there. But my daughter is tough. We watch a lot of fights. My little $1 million baby was able to get in a good jab, and unfortunately, a choice word from the old dad dictionary. Yeah, it rhymed with gas hole. My fiance eventually found out, which now she's on my case about my language around my daughter. So we had to change the house rule. We now operate under a strict snitches get stitches rule. As early as our next presidential election, there's a pretty good chance we could elect our very first female president. I'm just kidding. In all seriousness, we could elect our very first millennial president. And there's absolutely no way we're ready for that either. If you're just wondering how a millennial would do as a president, just go ahead and ask any North Korean. And millennials, they're not ready. They're not ready for the job either. Can you imagine if the big cheese just walks into the White House and brings mom and dad with them because he's still on their insurance? Or that the first family portrait, that should be pretty interesting. Well, this is me. This is mom and dad and Brittany. This chick I'm talking to on Tinder. Yeah. The generation that could do anything they wanted because they're entitled to it. The ADD generation all grown up. These kids, they love job hopping, tweeting, and Starbucks. Can you imagine the president comes into the office, lasts about 63 days, and then just gets bored and jumps ship? This is America. This is kind of hard. I gotta jump to Starbucks. There's no way we should get someone in office that's just a narcissistic, non-committal, materialistic, adult baby who loves tweeting. Wait a minute. That's all the time I have tonight. Thank you guys. It's been great.
Gabe Araujo!